Hi guys, welcome back to Wine and Whispers. This is Denise.
This is Nikita.
And today we are going to talk about a topic that is close to a lot of us. We want to discuss being a millennial woman in today's climate. What does that look like?
How does it feel?
Right. And more specifically, being a woman of color, a Black woman, navigating and being able to keep your sense of self. Right? So let's get in. Let's uncork and unwine. Okay, so I'm going to start our conversation today with probably the most memorable quote that's ever been said.
Mm-hmm.
And this comes from Malcolm X's speech that he did, where he says, "The most disrespected person in America is the Black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the Black woman. The most neglected person in America is the Black woman." And given the state of where we are in the country, especially what transpired in these last couple of weeks,
Absolutely.
we're tired.
I'm tired. I'm definitely tired. I'm tired, exhausted, mentally fatigued.
Right.
It's taking a step every day and telling myself that it's going to be okay because it's got to be okay. There's no other option.
Yeah. And I think we were tired before.
But we had hope before.
Right.
That's what it is.
Right. And there is a long lineage, a long history of the Black woman in America. And I know that sometimes for some people it's a touchy subject because it's like, what about all the other women in America? Yes,
of course.
Not discrediting any of the work that has paved the way through feminism, through Congress, through Senate, through policies, not discrediting that at all.
Right.
But I'm talking about the woven fabric, blood, sweat, and tears, literally and physically, in the historical context of this country. And now, as millennials, where the narrative is changing, where the quote-unquote wokeness is very much alive and thriving, in the understanding and the importance of the role in shaping what America is today, it is very important that there is a noticeable recognition or acknowledgement is the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
We're tired. And even though you and I, we are not what you would say your traditional African American, because we have a Caribbean background. But even in that aspect, in that sector, which I'm not going to dive into because it can lead us down a big old rabbit hole, we're tired.
We are. We're very tired. And it's funny that you mentioned that because I'm tired of having to explain that just because I'm West Indian, I'm still Black. Just because I'm West Indian doesn't mean that I can't understand or relate what you're going through. Because we went through it. It's the same thing. We went through it in a different capacity, but we still went through it some way.
Right.
So I'm not trying to say that it doesn't matter that I'm West Indian and you're Black. At the end of the day, we're still a person of color.
Correct.
And at the end of the day, we're still struggling the same way that you're struggling because people are looking at us, people who are West Indian, they're still looking at us and they're identifying that that's a Black person. They're not identifying, well, she's West Indian, so she doesn't count.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So we're all just tired and we're all just trying to navigate this together. And I want everyone to bond together over that fact and not try and discredit people because you're Jamaican, because you're Haitian, because I'm Guyanese. We're Black. We're both tired.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. And the expectation that shows up culturally, that we are supposed to be able to stay strong, right? Stay strong for the rest of the American population.
For your family.
For your family, for
your grandparents,
your kids,
your job, for everything, for your friends.
Yeah.
It's always, stay strong. You got this. Push through. You can't show the weakness.
Right.
Why not?
Because our counterparts can. And you know, I'm not going to go, I don't know the statistics. I don't know the full details of it, but let's just say we know that our white female counterparts, and I'm not saying it's all because I'm not
correct
putting everyone in the same bucket, but a larger majority than not lean heavily on their what's the term that I'm thinking of?
White privilege?
Not a white privilege.
Okay, sorry.
There's a term for it. Fragility. We're not allowed to have that level of fragility because we have to show up, right? And the biggest way for us to be able to continue just to be strong in that context or in that way is, how do you crush the Black home? By crushing the Black man.
Oh, what?
And this has shown up time and time again in Ava DuVernay's 13, which talks about the 13th Amendment, that documentary. If you haven't seen it, please see it. The other one that I rely heavily on in terms of understanding, and she did a phenomenal job of breaking this down, was, I said I was going to look up her name and I forgot. If you haven't looked on it and she got a lot of accolades for it. If you haven't already looked at it on Hulu, 1619 Project. It was a book.
Oh, yes. Okay.
It was a book and of different situations that happened throughout history, and it turned into a docuseries. And her episode 2 talks about it. Even though it talks about specifically about Black maternal health, it goes in to dive into the historical context of why the Black woman is so important to the fabric of the American culture and the backbones of American culture. Because at the end of the day, when you look at it, they looked at us more or less like, you know how you have breeders. Yeah. So when I say,
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to give you that.
No, when I say it's so deep. It's so deep.
That's how it happened during slave days.
Yeah. And this is not just in America. It happened in all of the colonized countries. We were, Black men was considered as the horse or the property.
Right.
Whereas us as the women, we were considered as the breeders.
But it also depends, which I also find interesting, it also depends on your skin tone and how light you could be to be part of that breeding population.
Yeah. Yeah.
But why can't we just be women?
And I think that's what the millennial Gen Z, I'm even going to go to stretch to Gen Z, but I want to say this is what even with the millennial women advocacy is for.
Absolutely. I agree.
In terms of, we're tired, we're done. We are not our mothers' anymore.
We're not.
Can I say that again?
Yeah.
We are not our mothers' anymore. We are very much aware. We are very much educated, which, by the way,
drop the knowledge.
Which, by the way, the Black woman is the most educated in America.
Which I find...
We are less than. So, what does it say? Slightly more than half of white women, which is 51.4%, have a college degree compared to 36.1% of Black women, which means that's only a 15% gap.
That's not that big of a gap, honestly. It's smaller than I thought it was going to be.
Right. Which goes to show you, we are trying to break barriers. So when I say the break barriers, we are looking for healing, going to therapy, putting ourselves first, recognizing that I don't want to fit myself into this
in the hole that was made for me. I'm no longer that person. And I'm not trying to do, like you said, I'm not my mother's mother. I'm not trying to do what my mom did. I'm not trying to do what my grandmother did. They did all those things to survive because they had to. It was a very different climate than what we are in now. Now I can stand up and I can advocate for myself. I can get the things that I need to get to survive. I can be present in my home, present in my job, present with my friends, but still be a great mom, be a great wife, be a great things, but still have my own identity.
Right. And I think that's what the problem was with people and seeing Vice President Harris.
Okay.
right? Because did not. That's the double negative. It is.
Okay, I believe you. I'm over here mulling it over.
This is where, what's his name? Vance, JD Vance.
Okay.
Had the audacity, the caucasity, right? Caucasity to say, Catwoman, what is wrong with the fact that she chose not to have children? What is wrong with the fact that she chose to pursue what made her happy? Yes, she's married, but maybe she just wanted to be that rich auntie.
Oh, yes, lips.
You see my lips? I have rich auntie on. But yes, that was an ode to her, by the way.
But it's also an idea of it's like you said, why does it matter? She showed up. She was her true self. Mm-hmm. She made waves in her own way, right? In the things that she did and how she did it to become successful, to be where she's at.
And that's why she resonated so well with us. I love my allies. She resonated with the allies too. Our ally in white counterparts, yes. Asian counterparts, Hispanic counterparts, because AOC too.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
They're there.
Because we get it. We understand. And she was so relevant. Like you said, she was the person that we want to be because she made it that way.
Yeah. Now, maybe we're not going to dive deep into politics. You may not have agreed or disagreed with whatever her platform is. It's fine. But I need you to understand her being able to stand in that presence.
That's us
being able to the fact that we were able to, as a Black women collective,
show up.
The second she announced her thing, there was that. I didn't get a link to the Zoom, but I wish I did.
Me too.
But the amount of rallied together, the amount of issues in that short period of time to do that, mm-hmm. right? And then you also have to look at other Black prominent women who were able to do it. Look at Stacey Abrams, who was able to, was it the 2020?
2020, no.
Yeah, 2020.
It was 20?
It was 2020. It was 4 years ago.
Okay.
And the 2020 election, foot to pavement, and turned a red state blue.
It was amazing.
And get those people who were like, I don't need to vote. My vote doesn't count, and show that. So I just want you to know that wasn't on the backs of our other counterparts. I don't want to say white only, right. But it was not on the backs of our other counterparts. It was us who showed up and showed out.
Like, we put that work in. We put that time, that energy, advocating for ourselves and advocating for the people that we thought were going to do great things, who were going to support us. We recognized with them.
Right.
And then spreading the word.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is, right? It's about spreading the word and being able to talk to our counterparts, or not even our counterparts, everyone.
Right.
Trying to make that difference. And we did it.
Right. So you can't have that rest on our shoulders only. And this is why I say we are tired. After the news of the results,
I was tired.
I laughed and I chuckled when I saw that, everyone was posting the Black women attire. We're just going to sit this one out. It's cute to have the memes.
It is, but it's
true. But in reality, we are.
It's true, because we are tired and we don't want to do it anymore. And I think the expectation
mm-hmm.
that we're going to continue to do it is what is also making that meme, whatever it is, right? Yeah. Becoming so viral, because we don't want to keep doing it. We don't want to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is, right? We don't mind doing it. We're okay with...
Where's the support?
Right. Because it can't just be us.
Right. Why are you not propping me up? Right? Why are you not letting me, not a tag and then letting me have a seat while you come in and fulfill it?
Right. Tag team it out with us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, make that happen. Why can't that be the thing? It can't just be kicking us to the curb in the forefront and say, all right, well, they got it. And you sitting back with your popcorn watching us with your wine.
Right.
No.
There's too much to be done, but it can't all rest on our shoulders. And not to say that we did not get assistance, but I don't think there was enough. Right? Because it felt, I don't know if you felt the same way. It felt very much like, it's like, okay, she's auntie up there.
Yes.
And we have to support auntie, and we have to get everyone else to join the bandwagon. Why couldn't it be like, she's our auntie, meaning she's our auntie for everybody, regardless if you were purple, green, or orange. And I specifically said those colors because...
Yep, I understand.
Right? Regardless,
It don't matter.
You should have jumped in and said, you know what? This is not a color card. This is a women card. As many people who claim feminism.
But it's not even that it's a women card. It's a people card.
It is. But I'm talking about women.
I know. I agree.
I'm talking about women.
Because we're the ones with the burden. We're the ones moving forward. We're the ones who are raising home. We're the ones who are succeeding in office, in your corporate offices.
Right.
We're the ones who are maintaining those friendships.
And then we need to come back home
and cook
maintain
food.
a house, maintain a spouse. And I'm being specific because I'm being very mindful.
Yes.
A spouse and children if you have. And then
work. Still being educated.
Right.
Finding time for friends.
And yourself.
Where do you find all that? How do we get all that? And then, but there's even more beyond that, right? Because then as you're doing all of this, we're going to hit burnout. As you do all of this, we're the ones who are still advocating ourselves, letting everyone know that therapy is okay. Go take therapy. We're still moving forward, and we're trying to navigate this world of technology as well to stay relevant. There's just so much that just, I feel, is compounding. And when do I get to say, I'm tapping out and I'm tired? When do I get to say, I'm tapping out, can I pass this baton to you? Or
meanwhile, everyone else is having the soft life. I want a soft life era too.
Do I? I guess that's also a thing. Do I really want a soft life? I don't know.
Okay, maybe I want a medium. No, not mediocre. That's
a medium.
A medium life, right? I want to work and I want to grind, I want to hustle, and I want to have that independence. But I also want to be able to sit back and say, this period out of the month, out of the year, rather.
No, let's say the month.
I want to be soft.
Let's say the month. I need a break every month. But I guess, are we like this because of how we were raised? Are we like this because of the things as millennials we've gone through?
Absolutely.
So, is it that everyone is having, or people are having soft life eras, and we just can't do it because we've gone through all of these tragic moments in our life? So we're afraid to have a soft life era.
Right.
Era.
I'm
going to say era because I like it. So,
tomato.
So, right. I don't want a soft life. I know that for a fact. I don't want a soft life. I've definitely worked too hard to not enjoy my life, but I don't know what it's like to just be home, not doing nothing.
When I say soft life, I'm not talking about being home. I'm talking about I want to be able to know that I can travel and not worry. But I can do it at a long period of time and be content to come back refreshed. The most productive person is the person who knows how to unplug and then come back fully refreshed, innovated, invigorated, with new exciting ideas in their head. But I can't do that if I'm constantly feeling like if I take this time off, I'm going to fall behind and have to catch up.
So are we saying is that what we're saying that the soft life is? Being able to travel, come back invigorated, travel, come back invigorated,
Yes.
So in my mind, that's not soft life. In my mind, soft life is I'm home and I have all this income coming in and I'm not working for it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I guess that's perspective.
Right.
Okay.
Because what you're saying is a life that I want where I'm working and I'm hustling and I'm making that money, but then I can just say, okay, give me a minute, I'll be back. And then I come back and I'm good.
Right.
But that's the life that I want.
That's the life that I want.
Okay.
That's the life we'll have.
That's the life we'll have.
Because we're about to speak that.
Yes.
Okay. Because TLB, Rich Auntie.
Get it? Not with the pop. I'm done. Okay. Yes. That is the life we're going to have because that's what I want. That's what I need to be. I'm okay with working. I've worked where I've had 3 jobs at a time. I'm okay
too.
I'm okay with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want to be able to just say, for 2 weeks I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
For a weekend, I'm just gonna go to California and come back real quick because I have the money.
I need some vitamin D. Sun.
I was gonna do something else.
You can have both.
I am gonna have both. Okay, beautiful.
I love it.
Okay, so same page, different perspective, but that's what I need.
Fair enough.
Because
my glasses keep sliding.
But they're cute.
See what happened. Okay.
I did.
Digress. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, no, sorry. So I understand what you're saying now.
Okay.
My bad, I didn't pick it up earlier.
It's okay.
Beautiful. But I want it to be attainable. And it's not attainable right now. And it's not attainable for multiple reasons. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how to make it attainable. I think that's also the problem that I have as well, because I'm so used to this grind and that we're pushing forward. I have to meet these deadlines. I have to make bills pay. I have to be active in all my lives, right? Family, friends, business.
And I think that's the narrative that's pushed on us by society.
Oh, that's upsetting. I didn't want you to say that to me.
I don't want to say it either, but when you look at the generations through the timeline.
Okay. Talk to me.
We are, and I don't know who these people who are Gen X's or millennials, maybe they figured it out, but these people on TikTok, these people on Instagram who talking about that they are making passive income or whatever, versus those of us who wake up every morning early to show up to go to work or whatever have you, or if you have your independent business or whatever, the grind is real.
It is.
Right? And it feels like the harder you grind, you take 2 steps forward to feel like you're taking 10 steps back.
You got pushed back hard.
Right. So, and I don't feel like, and there's data and there's statistics that show that our parents, based on the income that they had, in order to be able to purchase a home, a vehicle, or whatever have you, whatever they needed to invest in for survival, for lifestyle, wasn't a huge gap
as it is now.
Like, I'm trying to understand why I get groceries and I maybe have 10 items and you're looking in something that goes over $50. For what? What did I purchase that is 10 items that warrants me to go over $50?
I was reading some article. Don't quote me on what the article is. Don't quote me on the numbers, right?
Okay.
But I was reading that to be able to survive now, the minimum wage to be in a household with 2 people, right, has to be in the 200,000s is what your income should be. Who's making $200,000 combined? And if you are, give it to me.
No,
I'll take your job. I won't take it. I'm happy that you have your job. I'm sorry.
Yes.
But I want your job. Can we share? Can we talk about it?
You don't want their job. You want your studio, but you want your studio with their money.
Right. Yes. Let's rephrase that. What she said. Right. That's what I want.
Right.
Because in my mind, that sounds beautiful and that sounds amazing. But then I also wonder, is it that the income is $200,000 just off of salary?
Gross?
No. Is it just off of salary, or is it off of salary plus stocks, salary plus investments, salary plus you have side income of being a landlord, right? Things of that nature. And then the fact that that isn't taught in school.
Right. Although
Okay.
Although I will say that my daughter's school, they are teaching them financial literacy.
Meaning what? How to sign a check?
No,
because they need to know how to sign.
And I don't know if you guys are part of the generation that had home ec. I had home ec. We were given a budget. We had to use the budget. I know it seems like we're diving off of the topic, but we're not. It all falls in.
We're doing good at this time,
right? But they're teaching them about assets, gain, profit, investments, savings, checking. They're talking about all of that, need versus want.
Mm-hmm.
So it's giving them an idea. So I don't know about you, but my mother and my mother's generation had a very strained relationship with finances. And I don't know if it's because it was one of those things where Reaganomics had something to do with it, or they finally are in an era where they at the capacity to have a little bit more cushion, and so they didn't know how to manage their finances in the same capacity or how to invest it the proper way, which then led a very strange dynamic.
So then it also comes down to the fact, depending on the type of household you had too, if there was the man, woman, did the man handle all of the finances? So the woman wasn't introduced to it until after the man passed away. And so now they're struggling with that aspect of what is the bills?
How to write a check?
How do I write a check? How do I take money out of my safe deposit account? How do I put money in?
How do I save?
How do I not save? Like, I wonder if that also plays a factor too, because in my household, it was different. I was raised in a single parent household, single parent being my mom. So she very much handled all of that information, right? Because she had to. She was the head household, right? But going back, there definitely was a man and a woman, and the man was handling all those finances. The man was handling all of those things.
Right.
So being able to navigate that as well as a woman, trying to figure out, how do I move forward if a man passes away? How do I move forward if the man decides to leave? That reminds me of the show where it's a Jewish show on Hulu. Nope, on Prime. Mrs. Maisel. Okay. Where it basically has the same thing. It was back in the day,
because she was a comedian or something like that, right?
Yes, but her husband left her. And she had 2 kids, and she never had a job, didn't have finances. So now she had to go through that aspect because her burden now became forced burden.
So now, when you say that, my brain is processing cultural necessity.
Yes. Okay.
And when I say cultural necessity, you're referring to a white Jewish woman.
Yep. Very different.
Right. Versus the Black woman who is the matriarch, the center of most, if not all Black households.
Let's say all.
Black. Yes. Right. Because again, how do you damage the Black family? By damaging the Black man.
I know.
And when I say damaging the Black man, that was and still is, it's just
different,
woven differently into systemic racism, right? Always the part to play. And this is why Black women have to step into a masculinity. They have to step into a financial responsibility. They have to step into all these different hats in order to be able to sustain the family.
Household. Absolutely.
So this is nothing new to us.
We've already
having to be able to finagle what you need to finagle to make sure that you keep your family afloat. You keep clothes on their backs. You keep a roof over their head. And you keep food in their mouth. And this is why we keep talking about, in a Caribbean household, that was not the priority. That's because the priority was those 3 things.
It always was. It always is. It still is. Let's be honest. It still is.
Which also reflects the cultural aspect here in America with the Black woman.
Absolutely.
Right? And not to say that our Asian counterparts, our white counterparts, our Hispanic counterparts, but they're not the weird dynamic and relationship between the Americans and the African diaspora, and I'm saying that very intently.
Okay. Is
break the Black man, you break the Black family dynamic.
So we're currently talking about how the Black women have all these burdens, the household, the hats, all that. But this quote, break the Black man, are we breaking the Black household? Is it that to break the Black household is to break the matriarch of the household? Because I feel like if we break...
I just caught on to what you said. Wait, can you say that one more time?
No, I don't know what I said. So we're talking about breaking the Black man breaks the Black household. But I feel like in reality, it's if you break the Black woman, if you break the matriarch of that Black woman, you're breaking the Black household. Because the Black man leaves, right? That Black woman is going to step up mad quick because in her brain, she has
it's survival.
And she's not going to succumb to the weaknesses. Yes, let's rephrase. She will, because she will cry in her bedroom. She will cry on the train going into work some days. She will cry in the bathroom.
Yeah.
But then she will fix her face, put her blush, her lipstick, all that, her hoops. Let me tell you, when I put my hoops on, I'm a different woman, right? Like, she does all of those things because at the end of the day, she got kids to take care of.
Yeah.
She got her mom to take care of, her grandparents, her auntie, her uncle, whoever it may be.
There's someone that's always there that she needs to care for.
Always.
She's the caregiver.
She's not breaking. So you can take that Black man. I'm so sorry, Black man. I'm not trying to harsh on you, right? But if you take that Black man, that Black woman is not going down without a fight.
Let's switch it up.
Okay, I'm ready.
So that's one scenario of how the Black woman shows up and steps up, right?
Okay.
What about the Black woman who now has to clean up the mess when our Black men leave us because they say that we are too strong-headed, we are too independent, we are too opinionated?
I've dated those.
Go to someone else only to get beaten down, to then come back, and now we have to play the narrative of Mrs. Fix-It.
No.
It happens though, right? Because the nurturing part of us
can't help ourselves sometimes.
Can't help ourselves. And we feel like because we weren't able to nurture and fix the inner child that we have, which I want to get into that topic on another day.
It's a big one.
Pin it. We now feel like, okay, I didn't fix me. Let me fix somebody else. And I can tell you, there's somebody listening now who resonates with this, even if it's not you, you know someone who has.
She's right, because while it definitely doesn't resonate with me, because I've dated those men who have told me that I'm too much. I'm not too much. I am. Listen, there's a book out there and I want everyone to read it because it's a great book. Guac is extra, but so am I.
Ooh.
Let me tell you, that's a great book.
Mm-hmm.
I am extra, and I understand that I'm extra, but I'm extra because I had to be.
Right.
And so when I will never forget, I had a man tell me that I was a bit too much. He couldn't handle all of my nuances. So we broke up.
Okay. His loss.
Right. Bye, Felicia.
Because have you seen?
Hi.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Have you seen?
No, don't do that. Hi.
You cute, girl.
Okay, thank you. We're cute. Yes.
I'm taken though. So are you, but you're still
We're
cute.
both taken though.
But you're still cute.
Sorry, man. So done. So I remember he left, and I was sad in the moment. I was sad, and then I said, "But I'm great."
Absolutely.
I don't know what is destined for me in life, but I'm gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember a year later, I had a text message, and he said, "Hey, boo, what's going on?" And I said, "Nothing. Bye." So he wanted to restart something, and I just wasn't beat for it. Like,
why we keep getting closer?
Oh,
I love it.
Hey. We're getting intense.
I love it.
I wasn't beat for that conversation because you decided that I wasn't enough for you.
Right.
You decided that I was too much for you. You don't need me.
No.
Bye. And so
I can do that all by myself.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So and I will say thank you, Mom, for this. Thank you, Mom, because I saw her be her own in everything that she did.
Right.
While we definitely had our head butted and we went through it together, I don't think I would have been able to do that later in my life if I didn't see her stand by herself for all those years to navigate all the things that she did, because she validated that she was enough. So I'm enough.
Absolutely.
So I looked at that text and said, nope, I can't do this. So I don't know if I can ever understand. I can't understand, but I don't think I would ever be the person who would
Mrs. Fix-It.
I can't be Mrs. Fix-It. Because I got too much that I got to fix it myself. I don't have the energy to fix other people. If I have a kid that's going to be different, I'm going to be Mrs. Fix-It for my child. Right? But for another grown-ass adult, I don't have the energy to do it for you. Because
Get somebody else to do it.
Because I still got to do it for myself.
Yeah. And this is where I say the Black woman
does a lot.
And again, I'm going to bring it back to the top. I'm not saying that our other counterparts do not have some of the same struggles, but I can guarantee you if there was a statistics made on who does it more, who experiences it more, who feels it more, it's the Black woman. And it's also, so much so, I didn't mean to cut you off, baby, but so much so, there's articles out there. I think The Cut, right? The Cut is one magazine that I follow on Instagram, and that was posted there. I think the New York Times posted it as well. So what I'm saying is not just me saying it because this is my opinion and what I think is happening. There is documented proof out there in multiple different facets, multiple different outlets to back up what I'm saying.
But it's also the fact that we live it.
Yeah.
That's why we talk so passionately about this. It's because we are in this and we have been in this. It's not like this was just dumped on us randomly yesterday. Right. We've been living at this since we were kids.
And seeing it, watching it, thinking it becoming a part of us.
Mm-hmm.
So much so. I'll have a little disclosure, and I'm and not to dive into my personal, because my personal is my personal.
That part.
Okay. But if it gives context to what we're talking about, I'm going to share it. So in conversation and through conversation and learning, there was something that was uncovered between my husband and I, where I was doing a lot and I was angry and I was upset and I was frustrated, almost to the point where I can loosely say I hated him, right?
Okay.
And I'm stressing the loosely.
I understand.
Right? Because here I am running around doing everything. And my sister had said to me one time, she was like, you are like a single married woman. Because it was very much, I had to do this with the kids. I'm going to run around and do this with the kids. I will take the kids. The kids were always with me. The kids always had to do this. Where he did work a very stressful. Awkward, I'm not going to say stressful.
Okay.
I'm going to say awkward work schedule.
Okay.
I'm going to say awkward work schedule because it was a 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. kind of situation.
That's an awful shift.
So that means
he has to sleep during the day when the kids were awake.
Right. So I was stuck having to do everything. This is before I transitioned into where I am now. And so I was running around like a headless chick and doing a lot of things, and I was tired. And if I needed something from him, it was almost like pulling teeth to get something out of him. So through conversation, the simplest things, taking the garbage out. I had to take garbage out. Doing dishes. I had to do dishes.
So you had to do all the stereotypes.
I had to do all the stereotype things and my stereotype things.
The men and the women.
Right. So when I shared this with him, it was like, well, you didn't express that you needed my assistance, so I thought you got it. So I stayed back. And this is where it's important to be in tune. It's important to check in. Does every man do this? No. Do some men see what happened at home when they were growing up, so they see it mirrored again in the wife that they chose? Yes. But in order to be healing or to grow into healing, right? You've got to break those cycles. Are we in a different space now where there is check-ins?
Which I love.
Yes.
There has to be check-ins, right?
Yes. And is there a space where, like, there were times where I remember when I was transitioning to this, in the beginning, it was hard for me to still ask for help, right? Imposter syndrome, ask for help.
Still can't ask for help, both of us.
Right. Where I had to say, the only thing I'm asking when I come back, because I would come back Sunday nights, and it was late. It was late. I'd come back, I had to make it in time for him, because he was leaving for 9:30 to go to work for 10.
Yeah.
When I came back, I'd say, the only thing I ask is, can the little one please be bathed?
Okay, because that's a big thing.
That's a big thing. Because now it's 9:30. You're waiting for me to come home to bathe her.
And she got school the next day.
She had school the next day.
That's a lot.
So now it's not something I have to ask. Sometimes in the morning we'll tag team where maybe, okay, I get her in the bathroom, washed up, teeth brushed, hair combed. Can you put clothes on her while I get her lunch bag ready? Or can you get her lunch bag ready while I put the clothes on her? The communication is there better. Is there, and it's better.
I picked it up. Don't worry.
Right? So these are the things that those little adjustments start to make the change. It starts to lighten your load. It starts to help the unit, the Black family unit. Because guess what? When the communication is there, when the respect, I'm going to say that one more time. When the respect is there,
that part,
it changes. It's different. You shift from being the single married parent or single married mother to co-parenting. And it's not, and I hate this phrase.
Oh.
Dad is babysitting. No, he's
not.
He's half of that.
That's his pick-me. Like, wait a minute.
He is half of that. There is no babysitting.
No.
He's doing his job. He's stepping up and doing what he needs to do.
Exactly.
You don't say a mom is babysitting her kids.
No, you say a mom's doing her job.
Right. So I wanted to share that to say, listen, if you feel like how I felt, initiate through conversation, communication, right? Because you don't want to have that all on your shoulder, right? So,
but wait,
millennial women face a variety of demands, right?
But wait.
Go ahead.
Before you jump in.
Go ahead.
Do you know that's called something, what you were doing?
What was I doing?
Superwoman syndrome.
Huh. Which is bullshit.
Oh.
Because who wants to be Superwoman?
I want the lasso. And
I don't want to be Superwoman or
I want
Wonder Woman,
costume.
Storm. I don't want to be none of them. I don't want to be none of them.
I want the lasso of Wonder Woman, sorry. No, because they do, but Storm can fly. Okay, sorry.
Yep.
It's a lot. It's a big undertaking to try and be that woman, especially when you do have a partner that you can lean on
and
should lean on. So having that Superwoman syndrome is a lot. It's
the other misconception to this that I've noticed as well is there is a false idea that because they're, and it's funny, I was having a conversation with someone last night, and then I had a conversation with someone 2 nights ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have a partner, so it's easier. Their load is easier. Not necessarily.
It's a different load, yes.
It's not necessarily. The financial load is not the same. Right. You can't assume that just because it's there's 2 people that the financial is the same, and you can't assume that the responsibilities of parenting and or caregiving, because there's older, our parents are getting there, like the boomers, right? You can't assume that the load is the same.
You don't know. You don't know what anyone's going through until you've talked to them and you're in their shoes. Don't make assumptions that just because I have a partner, I have a shared responsibility.
Exactly.
Don't assume that because I have a partner, we share the bills equally.
Yep.
Don't assume that because I have a partner, I'm well off and I have a space where I can talk safely.
Right.
That may or may not be true.
Absolutely. It's a misconception.
It is.
Right?
It's you're making an assumption, right? And it's just so funny because that age-old quote, when you assume you make an ass out of you and me, that's what's happening. Yeah. You don't know. And don't assume. I always say that. Don't assume you know what's going on, because I guarantee you don't.
Right. And a lot of the times, even though you might have that, you've worked out some sort of coordination or balance, and when I say balance, it doesn't necessarily mean it's an even balance.
Nope, but it's a balance.
Because again, I'm gonna tap into myself, because I can only speak from the experience that I have,
that you've gone through,
right? Even though we have worked through the communication, I still have, that's the other term, the invisible load that us women carry, predominantly women, some men too. But the invisible load I carry is, even though there is a balance of what we've worked out, I'm still I still have 50 million tabs open while he may have 3.
Right. Because you're still thinking about everything that has to get done, whether it's, oh, my child has an event at school, she needs baked goods. Yep. My other child has to dress up for Spirit Week, she needs red clothes. Ooh, but I also need to go shopping for pajamas for something. I need to go and get fruit for the event. I need to go do this. Where the man, we were talking about this. Oh, multitasking and all of that.
Yeah. You compartmentalizing and multitasking. But I say
have it all open.
Yeah, and I say that to say, because even though I may have all these other box checked, I still have to make sure that I'm showing up for him too. You know, because as my partner, when he's sick, he was sick the other day. And when I say the other day, I'm talking about like a year ago, maybe, right?
Okay.
And he was like, no, I'm fine. Had I not sit his ass down, and I'm sorry that I'm saying this, because I know he's going to be like, what, you just disclosing your information. No one knows who you are, unless you're like immediate people.
Sorry.
Sat his ass down.
You had to.
And I had to give him a COVID at-home test. Turns out
he had COVID and he was sick.
He was like, oh, it's nothing. It's just allergies. Sir, you need to take better care of yourself.
Right.
So I was really happy and thrilled the other day that he went to the doctor, because it was a long time coming, and he was able to find someone that he was comfortable with. And
yay, that's important.
Because let alone separate from men alone that don't want to go to the doctor. That's a whole other thing. Black men and doctors have a strange relationship as well.
They do.
Which I can understand, because there's a historical context.
There's always a historical.
Goes back to history.
It does.
Right.
Which is how things progress into life, and we now accept it in our norm as today.
Right.
But it's not normal. We've just made it normal.
Right. Which then becomes a load of me as the Black woman in the unit.
Yes.
To make sure that everybody is okay.
You have to.
Yeah. Because we're always putting everyone else before we put ourselves. So I'm going to switch gears to what I was saying in terms of the... No, it's fine. There's a gamut of things.
There's so many things to talk about.
The millennial woman face a variety of demands in our current climate. Mm-hmm. That includes work-life balance, right? Which I can't wait till we dive into navigating the corporate world, and more specifically the Black women navigating the Black world in corporate America, right? Mm-hmm. Career growth.
Same thing.
Right? Earning power, right? Being trailblazers in a lot of things. If you look at the dynamics of what is going on in terms of people who are becoming entrepreneurs, majority of them are women.
Yes.
Maybe you have your silent partner men who come behind or whatever.
Majority.
But the face of a lot of branding that has happened.
It's women. Yeah. Recently, in the past couple of years, it's women.
Yes. Having independence, but being able to have a vulnerability to be taken care of too. You know, I want to be independent, but I want to be taken care of too. I
want cuddles too.
Yeah.
I want it all.
Which independence can sometimes be misconstrued.
Mm-hmm. Hey, word.
As arrogant, which I was told one time, arrogant or cocky. Mm-hmm. Me being confident was too much.
I hate when they say that I'm too much. And by me, I mean us women.
Why can't I stand in my confidence? Why can't I fully be comfortable knowing that, yes, again, I know my shit.
That part.
Planning for the future. Those who choose to be parents and those who choose not to be. It's almost like a negative stigma. Listen, I respect, what's her name? Pattern.
Tracey Ellis Ross.
Can
we be best friends? Thank you.
Excuse me. That's the second time I coughed. I respect her for making the choice. And, you know, and for some people, it's not a choice. Some people,
they can't.
Yeah. So guess what? Hold off on asking people why you haven't had kids yet. Girl. Let me say something. I have a client of mine and I love her dearly. It was a high school friend of mine. And she was like, because I can't. Girl, you don't know how hard that can hit somebody just by asking that question. Sometimes biologically, it cannot be. Do not ask. Shut your mouth. And if you're not ready for it, and I'm sorry, I got really pissed off just now.
Listen.
Be prepared for the answer and don't act shocked.
I got married. During my wedding, somebody asked me when I was going to have kids. During my wedding.
You should have asked security to escort them out.
Yo. On top of that.
Does having kids make me complete?
It does not make me a woman. I'm a woman by myself. I don't need a child to be a woman. All right. But on top of that, I then didn't come to dance studio. Right? The first day back at the studio, I already know of 5 people who asked me when I was going to have kids. Let me live my life.
Yeah. I know we've joked around about it.
But that's different. You and I have rapport, right? We've had rapport. We've been buddy-buddy. We have the kikis. We do all of it. Mm-hmm. I just got married.
Can I just practice and have fun?
Right. That part. But it's also like, you don't know how long me and my partner have been together.
Yeah.
You don't know if we're trying already and I'm struggling.
Right. You don't
know if I've had a miscarriage. And you're asking me these questions?
And you don't know what our medical history is. Like, stay out of my bedroom.
Please, out of my whole bed.
Like, you know what? You should give them the response that Andre gives them now. Because everyone keeps asking. We have 2 girls, so everyone keeps asking when we're going for the boy. And or we're going to have another one. His response is when Kids R Us starts giving them out.
That's not funny. I'm not mad at him. Good job.
Right. Yes. Or he'll say, he goes, when you pay for it.
That part. You paying for it? Because it's expensive. Mm-hmm. Okay, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
That made me so upset.
It's good. Planning for the future. We talked about cultural expectations.
It takes $100,000 to have a kid in America. Sorry. I'm sorry. I've been thinking about this.
Listen, it doesn't happen all at once, but listen, I get it. cultural expectations, right? We have both. We have both the West Indian Caribbean cultural expectation of what we're supposed to be and show up and how we're supposed to act and live and be. And then you have the American.
Of how I'm supposed to act and be and support my family and household and be a woman at the same time. Yep.
Yeah, kick rocks.
All of it.
And then burnout. Which I think, again, bringing it back to the top of the conversation, is exactly where we are currently.
Right now. We as Black women millennials, or even just women millennials, everybody, Black women millennials, we are in that burnout phase, which is why that meme became so viral, that we're just going to sit here and mind our business. Yeah. We are tired and done.
Where's my tea? Oh, I don't have tea. I have a little coffee.
Sip, sip. Tired and done. And we just about to sit here, mind our business, and call it a day.
You found something. Tell me what you found.
I told you, Superwoman syndrome.
Oh, that was Superwoman. Okay.
So, again, I think that's just the Superwoman syndrome is because that's what we do. Mm-hmm. We're forced to do it. We're forced to be there. And we saw it growing up. So we assume we have to do it now.
Yeah.
When there are other ways.
Break the chain.
We have to break the chain. We have to break the cycle. It's mandatory. We can't survive. And I know you experience this, and I know I'm going to experience at some point. Maybe, whenever.
And if not,
that's fine too.
It's okay, we get a pup.
I do love puppies. Okay. I have lots of aunties. I'm already an auntie, so it's fine. I don't want my daughter to go through what I went through. I don't want my daughter to go through what my mom went through. I don't want my daughter to go through what all the women in my family went through. I want them to be able to live the life that I want. They work, they make their money, and then they go and travel the world. Or they work, they make their money, and they get to relax and live their life and enjoy it. Not stress about I got a phone bill to pay. I got a husband who needs help with something. I got a kid who needs to do this, but I want to start my own business. I want them to just be them.
Okay.
I'm gonna get
I don't think that's anything wrong in that.
There isn't. I just got to make it happen, and I don't know how yet.
Listen, it's cutting ties to what used to be. So, like, my sister and I, we were talking, and I mentioned to her, the whole I wish I would have started this, like it would have been fostered.
Yes.
I recognize what sparks joy in my daughter. I recognize what talent that she has, and I try to foster it, so much so that if she asks for it, that's the one thing I'll say no. You can have it. Certain things I'm going to say no for, but when it comes to her artistry, when it comes to
she's very talented,
being able to be in this sector with you and your partner, go for it, right? But if you're just going to dilly-dally and do things, no, I'm not going to do that. I will foster what is innate, right? Because I don't want you to feel like you have to be fit in this peg when you're a beautiful circle.
Exactly.
And from the time she was little, I always said she was eclectic. She was very, she's eclectic. She's boisterous, and I don't ever want to fall from her being who she is, because that right there is going to be the powerhouse that makes her who she is.
Absolutely. I never want her to change.
Right. And so this is something, I don't know if you didn't experience this, but I didn't get that. I was always told I'm too opinionated. I was always told, and this is coming from parentals.
Yes.
Right? I love my grandmother, but her too.
Elders.
Right? Our elders. It was very much, you have to conform. You have to conform. You have to conform. I conformed so much. Look where I am now.
Girl, that part. Girl, we grew up in the girls are seen, not heard.
Children
are seen, not heard.
And to some extent, yes. Children should not be a part of all adult conversations.
No, because that's not true. For me, my brother was heard. I was supposed to be seen and not heard.
Okay. Again.
Different, yes.
Different, but same.
Very much so, yes.
Right. So this is why it's important for the cycle to be broken, for those conversations to happen.
Yes.
I saw something. I think, did I send it to you?
Maybe.
where it says, if your child gets in the car when you pick them up,
yes,
and they are comfortable to tell you what is going on in their little dynamic of a world, let them talk, no matter how crazy and asinine or upside down it may seem.
Don't fix them there.
Don't fix them there. Let them, because you know what? Because if you start trying to fix it, they won't
talk to you.
Right.
So that happens here at the studio. Can I tell you? And so there's a point where if classes start at 6, my kids start rolling in at 5:50, right? Those 10 minutes, Miss Nikita, let me tell you what happened at school, and this happened, and this happened. And I just let them go, right?
Yeah.
Because they found that this is their safe space.
Yeah.
Girl, go ahead. This is your safe space. You talk about it. I'm gonna be here and listen to you. I'm not gonna correct you.
Yep.
Why? For what?
I started to do that, and I stopped. And I stopped because I said, you know what? I'm continuing the cycle.
Right.
So
I want you to be able to talk to somebody and feel safe and talk about it and not feel like you're being scrutinized.
Yep. And I don't put therapy as a stigma.
No.
Therapy is healing.
It is.
And you know what? Sometimes you need to have an outlet outside of your parents.
You need to have an outlet who doesn't know your life and is unbiased. Because I guarantee whenever you tell me something, I try and be unbiased. But in the back of my mind, Denise is going to win. This is her era. She gonna survive. What can I say to make her get it there?
Right.
Because I always want you to succeed, and I always want the best for you.
Right. And the same thing when you're telling me, I'm like, ooh, that's why I say we're gonna speak it. We're gonna speak it because I want the same thing for you.
Exactly.
But sometimes you just need someone to be objective and hear something without
without the backstory of what it is. Right.
So these are different things I try to do to make sure that I show up for them, so that this way they don't continue this idea that they have to show up for everybody else and put themselves to the back burner.
No, I need them to show up for them, and then everyone comes.
Yep.
Because if you can't show up for yourself, you don't have enough energy to show up for everybody else.
What is it? Oxygen mask? Oxygen mask yourself.
And then do everybody else.
And then do it. It's easier said than done, though.
It is. And I know that it is, right? Because I know for me, I always want to help everybody first, and then I'll help myself. But it's because I find it so difficult to help myself in general and ask for help. Yeah. So I understand it, but it's definitely, I can see the difference when I show up for myself first and then I help everybody else. I still have energy at the end of the day. Okay. Where if I help everyone first and I give out all of my energy,
you have nothing left for yourself.
I have nothing left for me. And then I become this zombie.
We don't want that.
No. So, okay. Thank you.
But yes, Black women, we hear you. We feel you.
We understand.
See you. We know who you are. We know what you do. Keep showing up.
Please.
Put your oxygen mask on for yourself.
Yes.
And remember, you are loved, even if society doesn't show it to you in the capacity that they need to show you. Just know you're loved and you're appreciated. Yeah?
Yeah. Everything that you just said resonated. It was meant for y'all, but I got it too.
All right, Wispies.
See you next time.
Hey, Wispies. Thank you for joining us for another hard-hitting girl talk. If you have a topic or question for us, send us a whisper at info@wineandwhispersclub.com. That's whispers with an S. See you next time, Wispies.